Agashe.
아저씨 이게 뭐야? Hello everybody, Agashe here. So today I'm going to be doing another K-drama review. I feel like that's what I always say every time. But yes, I'm going to be doing a K-drama review on a new K-Korean drama that just came out. This drama is called The Tale of Nokdu. And it is based off of a webtoon. And it is a total of 32 episodes. We have 2 episodes back to back on Mondays and Thursday. And I was not expecting to watch this drama at all. I was not expecting to watch it at all. I've seen the main guy act in a couple dramas before, but he's actually not the main guy. And I see Kim So-hyun act in dramas before, a lot of other dramas. So I was like, oh, interested in when I saw like the very long trailer of it, and it already then the next day it came out, and I'm like, oh, it's already out. So I gave it a shot, and I actually really like it. So I'm actually going to continue watching it and to see how it turns out. So I'm going to be reviewing with you guys the first 4 episodes, and just going over some quick things so I don't give out any spoilers for anyone who has not seen it. But I will go over a cast, synopsis, and the first recap of the first 4 episodes. And yeah, so if you guys like this video, thumbs up, hit subscribe to see more of it coming. So as for the cast, we have Chang Dong-yoon as Nokdu, and the younger version of him is played by Chung Ji-sol, and he is a smart and athletic man who, due to an incident, enters a village where men are forbidden. And we have Kim So-hyun as Dong-ju, and the younger version of her is played by Cho Yi-lin, and she is a clumsy and hot-tempered kissing. I have a hard time saying this word, kissing. She's a trainee who has no skill in performing arts but has the ability to make anything when she's given a tool. And then we have Kim Tae-oh as Chung Yul-moo, a man known for his looks and talent in cooking. He cherishes Dong-ju, with whom he has a special childhood connection with. And then we have Jung Jung-ho as King Kwang-hae. And then we have Kim Tae-woo as Hyo-yoon. He is the king's most beloved friend and subject. And then we have Lee Sung-joon as Jung Yoon-ju. He is Nokdu and Hwang Tae's father. And we have Cho Sung-yang as Kim Suk. And she is a widow who has impressive sword skills. Song Gang-hee as Jong Hwang-tae, Nokdu's older brother. Park Min-jung as Queen In-mok. Kim Gang-hang as Yong-gang, a rich man who manages the widow village and gets entangled with Nokdu. Lee Jung-bin as Ma Hwang-soo. She is the most popular kisang with her talented and natural dancing ability. And Yoon Yu-sung as Chung Hae-soo it is the head and guardian of the village to protect the Kisang and the widow village. So now for the synopsis, we have Nokdu is the son of a noble man. He is not happy that his family arranged him to marry a young girl. To avoid the marriage, Nokdu runs away from home. He disguises himself as a woman and goes into the widow village. There he meets Dong-ju, who is an apprentice to become a kisang. She does not want to become a kisang, but she doesn't have a choice. She happens to know that Nokdu is not a woman, and she hears the reason why he is hiding in the widow village. They save each other a couple times from dangerous situations, and she becomes Nokdu's adopted daughter, and he decides to leave the widow village in a year. So recap from episode 1 to episode 4 right there. The drama starts us off with someone jumping to the ocean catching a fish. He comes out of the water and it is Nokdu. And when he reaches the shore, a little girl calls him honey, and he is not happy about it. We find out that him and the little girl, him and Nokdu, his father and his older brother, lives on the island, and they are actually hiding. And the only reason they were able to do so was Nokdu promised that he will marry the master's daughter, the master of the island, his daughter, which is a little girl. And therefore, by agreeing to that, Nokdu was able to learn martial art, and his brother and his dad, they were able to live there. But he wants to escape from it. And then as he was talking to the little girl, all of a sudden a woman comes yelling, stating that there's trouble at your home. He races home and sees that there are assassins attacking his family. He flies in and starts fighting with them, and you see that he's so skilled, and he actually caught one of the assassins, but his father told him to let the assassin go. Nokdu, they find out that these assassins are actually female, and Nokdu, he blames himself that they are in this mess because of him, but his father states that it is not him to be blamed, it is the father. It's because of the sins the father created, that's the reason why they are in these mess. He finds them. And so he must go and find the head of the assassins to figure out why they are after his father and all this stuff like that. What are their plans? So therefore, Nokdu immediately leaves the island to the capital city. And at the capital city, we see Dongju is dressed in a man's outfit, and she is planning to assassinate the king. But another man ends up throwing a rock at the king, and everybody starts running and yelling and trying to protect the king. Dongju is on the run. Her arrow is found, and then they conclude that there is an assassin to kill the king. In the process of trying to catch the assassin, Nokdu arrives in the capital city. He gets caught in the situation. Both him and Dongju ends up in jail together, not trying to escape. Nokdu is just like, they're gonna release us tomorrow. You know, there's pointless to escape. And throughout the night, like, he immediately got attached to like Dongju immediately. And then we get to see the king had a dream that night that the younger version of himself, and that he was going to kill a little boy, so like strangle a little baby boy. And he wakes up and sweats and chills, and he's panicking. And now we're kind of like, oh, where's the baby boy? What happened? You know, like, oh, the king's panicking about it. Anyway, so the next day, Nokdu, he makes his statement regarding the arrows and all this stuff like that they don't even have proof. Like, the guards don't even have proof that it was him or Dongju, you know, and all this stuff like that. And so therefore Dongju gets released, and he's still trying to find the assassins and know what the assassins are after and all this stuff like that. And then the assassin knows that he has come to the capital city now, and he is trying to find them, and so they are set out to kill him as well. So Nokdu ends up following one of the assassins over a rocky hill and through all these things, and he caught her changing her clothes into a woman's clothes, and he keeps following her. She goes under this huge rocks and through all these stuff, and then he's probably like, oh, this is like their identity and stuff like that. This is what they do. This is how they do it. He keeps following her, and then there's a sign that says no men's allowed, and he just kept going, and he ended up entering this village, and everybody is shocked to see him, and they were like, oh my god, it's a man. And he's kind of like confused because everyone around is just women. There's no men around. It's just a bunch of women. And this really huge woman, kind of like the hawk. She's like the hawk of them or whatever. She comes out, and they start like beating him up, yelling at him, and they threw him out of place, and they said he's not allowed in the widow village. So they threw him out, and then he realized that, like, the reason why it's no men allowed is because this is called a widow village. So what is it? Widows, when their husband dies and they become widows and they can't move on, they end up living in that village where no men are allowed, and they just live day to day with everyone else, and living normal life, and all this stuff like that, and not getting married. So that's what the widow village is. Now we cut to a scene where there's a widow running away through the woods at night. She falls, and we see Nokdu offering her help. It turns out this widow is trying to run away with another man, and what is it? Her father is looking for her and she can't run away with this man. So Nokdu says that he will help them. And so he said there is a way he can help them where they can escape and all this stuff like that. So he ends up, because they were going to send her to the widow village or something like that. And she don't want to. She wanted to leave with this other man. So Nokdu took her identity. He dressed into it as a woman and he walks into the widow village and, you know, the couple, they thank him for doing this for them, and then they leave, and then he goes into the village, and then he is welcomed, and they show him everywhere, and they take him in, and then he meets the head of the village, who is also like the head of the Kiseng, and she is Chung Hae-soo, and she takes him to the Kiseng house, and at the Kiseng house there was like some problems going on, and Dongju she can't like take it anymore. She steps in, she gets into another argument with like this lord guy regarding a young girl who has not become an official Kiseng yet, and so the head of the Kiseng states that he can return for the girl when she's an official Kiseng. And the Lord demands to cut the girl here, knowing that, you know, she's still young. And the head of the Kiseng is like, you have to give at least 3 to 4 years before she gets into the process and you come back for her. So he said, I'm going to cut her here so I won't recognize her then, because her hair will be growing on then, so I will know because it will be her. So Dongju gets upset, and so she cuts her own hair, and she states that her hair can grow again anytime, so the Lord can come back when her hair is long, you know. And so the arguments continues, and a young man stops him, and he looks like this very noble man. He comes in, he stops the fight, and he feeds like this very bitter medicine and vinegar to the Lord, and the Lord like freaks out, and the Lord leaves. And Dongju is she ends up at the head Ginseng's office and to talk about the stuff she does, you know. And the Ginsengs are like, I know you've been sneaking out, just be careful, don't get caught. So we're kind of like, what is her plan? She has this hate towards the king and she keeps sneaking out. And so in the meantime, Nokdu ends up at his room, and he finds out that he's sharing room with someone, and he goes through the personal belongings of his roommates, and he finds out it's Dongju, and she was the girl dressed in the men's clothes when they were in jail. So Nokdu and Dongju shares a room together, and he starts to learn about the place, that there's only an entrance in, or there's only like 1 or 2 entrances in and everything. And then there's like this rich man who manages the widow village, Yonggun. He has a crush on Nokdu, and he fell in love with her. So like Nokdu, like he don't know Nokdu's a guy, so he fell in love with Nokdu, had a crush on Nokdu, and like Nokdu pretty much realized that he knows everything about the village, so might as well use him to help him, Nokdu, understand the village and everything, and to know what's going on. So going on to the next scene, Nokdu is dragged to go bathe with some ladies, and he refuses to take his clothes off. As he's backing up in the water, he gets stressed, his makeup kind of fell off, his shirt fell off, and like the woman's like, they were like, he got all afraid that, oh my god, his identity has not been revealed. But nope, they throw a rock and it passed Nokdu, and it hits the rich man Yonggun, and he is the peeping Tom looking at them. More so he was looking at Nokdu, and he's drunk, so they just kind of like knock him out. And then later, Nokdu, he has difficulty trying to hide his identities and that he's a male. He won't change in front of Dongju. He asks for many things, and like to divert her attention away, to not change in front of him, because, you know, she's a female, he's a male, he can't look and stuff like that. And at nighttime, when Dongju is asleep, he sneaks out to go find like female assassins they're actually within the widow village, and they are aware that a man has been following them and has entered the city, and they have to catch this man. And Nokdu, he almost gets caught, but he gets away and he gets escaped, and like throughout this whole time he has to keep his identity a secret and keep an outlook of what is the female assassin's purpose and who is the head of these female assassins and what is like their purpose and everything like that. And so eventually, you know, as in the process of hiding his identity, Dongju ends up falling on top of him, and she hit his area, and she's like, oh, what did I feel? And she pokes his chin, and he has like his mustache is growing, and she's like, oh my god, you know, and she holds up the scissors. She's like, you're a man, you know. So it ends it for us at episode 4 that she finds out that he's an actual man. But throughout these episodes, we get to see like some scenes from the palace where it states that Chung Chu is alive, and Hyung Yoon and Kim Kwang Hee's Hyung Yoon, who works for he is the best friend of Kim Kwang Hee. He was supposed to kill Jung Yoon Chung long time ago, and it's actually Nokdu's father. So they were supposed to. So the king keeps reassuring himself that Hyung-yu had killed this person already, because the night that he was supposed to die, he was carrying a baby boy, and they were supposed to kill the baby boy, bury the baby boy, and then Hyung-yoon was supposed to kill Jung Yoon-jung. So he was supposed to kill him so that the baby and the guy died. But Hyung-yu keeps assuring the king that don't worry, the baby is dead, and he's dead and everything like that. But like the king has other people working for the king, and they're like, I saw him, Nokdu's father. I saw him. He's out there and he's on the run. So you're kind of like, okay, it shows some scenes. So apparently Nokdu's dad was once working in the palace, and he took a little boy and he ran. And also when like Nokdu's mom passed away, Nokdu's mom was like, it's all because of you that my son died, and also your real name is not Nokdu, all this stuff like that. So like a lot of your real name is not like I don't know, a different name and stuff like that. That's the thing about Korean time, they have difficult names for me to pronounce. But yeah, like, so there's like a lot of mystery going on. So my guess is Nokdu probably has ties to the palace, because he's very different from his brother, and the king protects him. I mean, not the king, his father protects him a lot, and all this stuff like that, and all this stuff like that. And so how he's always saying that it was because of him they're in this mess, but the father said it's not because of him, it's because of the father. So I'm pretty sure Nokdu was a little baby boy that he saved, and I have a feeling that like how the king, he had a dream of him about to like strangle a baby boy. I think the king had a little brother, the king had a little brother, and the king did not want to give up the throne to anyone else but himself. Therefore he made sure that they got rid of the little boy, the baby boy, so that he can be the only king to take the throne. So I have a feeling that Nokdu has something to do with the palace, and the female assassins, they have something big going on that they're probably like, I have no idea what they're doing, but they have something planned going on. And then Dongju, she has like this hate towards the king, and she's like planning to kill the king. So it's like a lot of things going on. So it's like you don't know what's going on with that mystery, but at the same time you get some hilarious stuff, especially Nokdu being a female, and then the rich guy having a crush on him. It's hilarious and all this stuff like that. But if you guys have not checked it out, do check it out. I recommend it. It is very hilarious. I do like it. I do want to know what's gonna happen next, and how it's gonna turn out, and how all these mystery, and why is that Nokdu out here, like he just left immediately to find these female assassins, and his father just let him go, so very curious of what's gonna happen and to see how it turns out. I have not seen the webtoon, so I don't know if I'm gonna look into it, because I feel like if I do look into the webtoon, it's probably gonna spoil for me, so I'm just gonna watch it and not spoil it for myself. But if you guys want to know the ending reviews once the drama comes to an end, let me know in the comments below, and I will also do an ending recap for you guys. But that is it for today's review, and I will see you guys next time.